Hey Reefers, how's it going? Hope everyone's doing well. It's just gonna be a video of my 20-gallon long, just a quick tour of it. Just a small little reef tank here. You can see there's my red firefish up front swimming in the current. That's usually where the fish like to hang out, him and the chromis. There should be a green chromis in there. And there's a lawnmower blending. I don't know if you saw him at the beginning of the video. Just start through the back of the tank. He's actually poking his head in the bottom left, kind of in the middle actually. It's hard to see him on this video, I'm sure, but he'll come out. There's the green chromis in the center of the tank. Anyway, let's dive on in. So over here to the right side, there is the yellow watchman goby. He is paired up with a pistol shrimp, about 2-inch big pistol shrimp, probably about 2 years old. You can see there is some gorgonia in the back right there in a low flow area, and there is some rainbow recordia mushroom that's rested there on the bottom. I'm employing 5 Hydor circulation pumps as my water flow. 4 of those are full-time, the other one goes on and off every hour. I do that just for random current more than anything. I also have the Renora hang on the back protein skimmer over there. I got it for free. It is what it is. I don't run it during the day. I'm sorry, at night when I'm sleeping. This isn't my bedroom. Those circulation pumps are, sorry to bounce back and forth, those circulation pumps are alright. I mean, they move water and they're cheap. I got mine on Amazon personally. I wish I had a battery backup on one of these guys. I'm considering getting the Jade Bow RW because those are able to be put on the battery backup, and that's something I'm interested in. Other than that, it would be the Vortec battery backup. Anyway, back to that protein skimmer. It does a good job. I mean, I suppose. I didn't have one before this one. It's hard to see the head. It does produce some micro bubbles in the tank. I've read that those are supposed to go away. We will see. You can see that spray bar. That's actually connected down here. So it's kind of pretty messy down here, like I'm sure some of us can relate to. We're having trouble focus. There is my Sunsun Canister filter. That's just $40 on Amazon. In there I have just actually all Seachem matrix, about 2 liters of it. No mechanical filtration whatsoever. It just moves water. When I do water changes, I typically just dump that out. I consider my water change with that, or at least when I clean the filter, a good supply of trace elements and other vital elements that the corals need. It's pretty important to take the fish waste out. Down here I have everything on a GFCI right there. There's just 2 basic timers, and there's that Hydor wave controller down there just for that one pump I have controlled. Also over here in the back left, it's hard to see, I have hidden an Ehime surface skimmer. What that does for me is that sucks water in from the top of the water, and let's see if you see a top view. So that takes water in from the top and just sprays it right back down to the bottom. You can see I do have pretty significant water agitation on the top of the tank. That's really oxygenating my water quite well. The reason for the surface skimmer there is to remove that surface slime that some people will typically see who don't have an overflow on their tank. That's a good way to provide an overflow for a smaller aquarium in the $30 range. Anyway, there's that firefish. He's really active. Typically firefish aren't that open in personality. They like to hide a lot. So it's pretty cool to just see him open. You can see I have quite a bit of rock. It's not necessarily the most beautiful display, but I like it. The fish definitely like it. There's about probably 40 pounds of Tonga rock from bulkreefsupply.com, and just the normal Fiji rock that I got from my local store that I work at. That would be Coral Collection in Lake Forest, Orange County, California. Really like it. Anyway, let's go ahead and look at some of these corals from the glass view. It is kind of dirty, I didn't clean it before the video. There's the green star polyp. It's doing pretty well. There's not that much of any of the corals I have in the tank right now. I'm just starting with small frags. There's a Duncan. It's hard to see from this view, but there is a third head just growing in under there. You have a candy cane coral next to the candy tree, and a little pretty common zoanthid right there. Backing up a little, we can see I have some other zoanthids on this rock that I'm just starting off. You have a clove polyp there. We'll get a top view of these corals later on. I mean, there's another zoanthid that's commonly known as a Green Bay Packer. Some of these zoanthids are cool. Backing up, there's two Trachyphilias in the front. You see the two Lepistreas. That orange one is recovering. It was receding from another tank and I took it. It's now back. Those are 3 frog spawns in the front there. Not all of them are have the multi dots on their tips yet, so they're just growing in. You can see I have a couple Xenia right there. The one on the right does typically pulse more, but I am in a higher flow environment. There's a nice Pallies with a Recordia. I have 4 baby Fungias in here. It's hard to see the one from this angle. Up top here, I have 4 of my chalices. We'll get a top view. There's Hollywood Stunner in the back right for a common name. And that one in the front right is really just to grow out. It's just something to have. Down here, there's just a bunch of mushrooms in there that I'm waiting to get attached to sand so I can put them on frag plugs ultimately. There's another Pally sticking its head back, its polyp out right there. That's just a single polyp waiting for it to grow. Over here you can see I have the red tile sea star, and it's hard to see from that angle when it gets back to the front. There is the red tile star, and you can see the Montipora at the very top of my tank. There is a zoanthid right there. It's a couple of zoanthids actually. Bring it back. You can see there is the octo spawn right there. It's on a small little frag plug. To its left, you're going to see another chalice that's just starting to grow out. Behind it, a green favia, several acans. Back left, you're going to see another favia with a pavona. There's small Xenias on that frag plug, it's hard to see, next to a green acan. Maybe you guys can see from this angle, behind the frog spawn, tucked underneath, there is a pavona down there. Oh, here's another coral, sorry for that jerk. There is a small green star polyp on that frag plug. See how it will do. Check this guy out. Look at that color on that Trachyphilia. When I got this guy from a local fish store, it was actually infected. It was open. It had an open wound. I don't know if it was infected, and I got it for free. I traded some plants for it. I just happened to come in when the guy had it, and he said, "Hey, Jay, does anyone want this for $10?" I said, "Yeah, I'll try it on," and he ended up just giving it for me for straight trade for the plants I had brought in. So now it's actually a multicolored, several tones of red. You have blues and greens in there, and it's just next to a very basic Trachyphilia, just your common green striped with black. I mean, there's some cool stuff in the tank. I like it. Let's go ahead and power down the flow. All I have to do is press this button, and that will give me a Kessil view of the top. That actually turns off the Kessil, I'm sorry, turns on, leaves on the Kessil, and powers down my 4 T5s. In my T5s I have 2 Blue Pluses, 1 Aquablue Special, and a Coral Plus. I find that to be a good combination for me. Right now the only thing running would be my canister filter and protein skimmer. You can see we have no real water movement on the top, but there is water movement in there for all sake and purposes. It's a little hard to see, sorry for the jerkiness. Here we go, that's a good view for me. There's a top view of my frag rack where you can see some of my A-cans. That rainbow A-can's pretty hot, especially on this actinic. That is a 20K tuna blue Kessil. Anyway, I'm going to wrap this video up here in a second. But here's some other top views of the tank. Give you a top one of that brain. Check out those 4 or 5 fungias. Zoanthid. Check out those chalices with the frog spawn on the background. Really cool, especially like that favia. Those 2 favias back there are something special. Anyway, hope you guys like my tank. I'll end with just a shot of no water movement. Anyways, any questions about it in the comments below, man. Thanks.